hey guys, I am Aditya Thakur and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to work with Supabase, which is a open source alternative for Firebase. So we would be seeing how to integrate it within your Flutter application and how to get started working with it. We'll do some authentication part and then set up our application to read and write data. So Flutter is open source and now we would be using a database that is open source. So let's get started with it. Basically, Supabase is this open source Firebase alternative. You can create a backend in less than 2 minutes, start your project. And talking about the difference between Firebase and Supabase. So Firebase is a NoSQL database, whereas Supabase is a relational database. I came across Supabase looking for free alternatives to Firebase, and Supabase is open source. It is free right now, and they have a pricing, but that would be for hosting service. Yeah, so it is an open source product, so it's currently free, but they will charge for hosting when it's released. And Firebase, on the other hand, it's not free. The free Spark plan is good. You can do considerable amount of work with it, but then you have to pay as you go for the Blaze plan. Also, some of the features with Supabase are currently under development, and I would love to see how they work out. But let's get started by setting up our project in Flutter and how to integrate it within our application. Let us get started by creating a new Flutter project. We'll first set up the Supabase for it, and then we'll create a class to manage the communication with the database. I'll create a new Flutter project. Call this Supabase Flutter, and this is a new Flutter application, and let's create this new Flutter project. So now to work with Supabase, let's start our project. I'll continue with GitHub, log into Supabase using your GitHub account, and then you can create a new project. And you can select your region. I'll go with the default one. And yeah, so it will take up some time to build the database and API is building. So till then, let's see how to get it inside our Flutter application. So I'll go over to GitHub, go over to their organization, Supabase. Supabase is open source, so you can check out their organization by going over to github.com/Supabase, and they have this repository called Supabase that has all the code for the database. And what we want is we need to integrate it into our Flutter application. So we will be using this Dart client for Supabase called supabase.dart, and it is available on Flutter pub.dev. So you can get the package from here, copy it, head over to your pubspec.yaml file and paste it in the dependencies, then do a pub-get. So this should get the files, and our database is ready as well. So I had created this database called Supabase. So what I can do right now is, if you have worked with Firebase before, you must be aware that we need to initialize our app. So we have to do something similar with Supabase. I'll delete all the code which we don't require. I will delete this as well, and okay. So my main is right now empty. Let me just create a new screen call this homepage dot import. Just make it stateless page. Alright, so right now I deleted all the previous code and created a new page called homepage. So to work with Supabase, let me go ahead and create a new file. It will be called Supabase Manager. So this will manage all our interactions with the database. So I'll create a new Dart file called this Supabase Manager, right? And what I need to do here is import Supabase dot. And now how to set up your project with Flutter. Check out the example available on the pub.dev. So what we need to do is, once we have imported Supabase, we need to give it a Supabase URL and Supabase key, and then we would create a client. This would be Supabase client, which will take in this URL and key, and then we would work with this client to get data from the table, and we can perform different commands. So let's do that, right? So I'll create a class called this Supabase Manager. So let me give it the constants. How to get this URL and key. I'll go over to my database, go over to settings. I need my API, and this is my URL. I'll get my URL and I'll get the key. Okay, so I have pasted my URL. So you can go ahead and paste the URL and key in the variables. Now we have this class Supabase Manager. Just go ahead and type final client equals to Supabase client, Supabase URL, which I gave it, and Supabase key. Okay, so once we have this ready, we can go ahead and create functions to read data, write data, and authenticate. On Supabase website, there are like small examples right here. So once you have done this, you have created your client. You can simply create a new user by Supabase .auth. So they are using Supabase. So we can simply create a client by auth.signup and give it an email and password. So this should sign up. Then we can sign out similarly. That would be easy as well. Then we can read a record by using the client and going over to from this table, and you can select what we need, or we can create a record. We can insert. So there are a lot of commands available. And how do we view these commands? We'll go over to documentation, right? So in the documentation we have so under reference we have how to use auth sign up, auth sign in, sign out. Then we have session. So you can view the documentation right here. Then you have other commands like dot. So we have, okay, yeah, so we have create data, we have modify data. So we will be using this to create a simple application that will first sign in the user, then sign out the user, and then we will create to view what is on our database, and it would be simple UI. I'm not going for anything fancy, simple buttons that would tell you can do this. Get data, try to display that data, and last would be to take in some data from the user and update it on the database. I'll go over to my table editor, create a new table, call this table something like data table, and so we have created a data table. So this has name, so we'll create a simple, you can add your friend's name there. So let's try to do that. So what will happen on my home page is let me create a new screen, call this that file, call this login screen, right? So I'll import material, create a new stateless widget, call this login screen. So what this will have is a simple button that will log me in, and how I can create a simple raised button that would have that would, when you tap on it, it should log in, and if you log in, you go over to your home page. On home page you can read and update data. So I have made this simple UI which has a scaffold that has a container. So this container has a flat button with the border. So the child is a row that that will have a icon and then some text that is signed into Supabase. So I'll show it quickly. Right now it looks like this simple button in the middle which is signed into Supabase. You can go ahead and add two text fields right here, like this could go down an email and password text field, so that will take in the email and password from the user to sign in. But since this will be a quick tutorial, I wouldn't go into that and this simple button. So how do we authenticate our user? Let me just create a new function called this sign in user, right? So what this does is this sign in user should take in and email and password, string email call and string password. Alright, so we will be using this. Let me make it an async function, right? Await this client dot auth dot sign in. So you'll see that this sign in takes in 3 parameters actually, but we will be giving it sign. We will be using sign up, right? Or should we be using sign in? Sign up is for when you need to create a new account, right? And sign in is for when you already have account. So let me use sign up, right? So this should take in this email and password. Should have made them small. Email and password, right? We'll wait on it, and that should do it. We'll make it sign up user. Okay, let me go back to my supabase.dart file, and inside this onPressed, which I had initially left empty, what I'll do is I'll first create an instance of that class. So I need Supabase manager. Supabase manager equals to Supabase manager. Right, we have then instance of that class. I'll use this to call that function dot sign up user. And since I haven't created those fields, if you'll create those text fields to take in email and password, you can give the value of those text fields right here. User text controller dot like email controller dot text and do something like that. Let's do something like that and make it await. Make this function async, right? So only once this is done, I can create print signed up, right? And then I can navigate to my next tree. Dot push. Push replacement takes in the context and a material page root. Alright, so after we click on the button, it will first create this account, then it would push into our home page. So what do we have on our home page right now? It's empty. I'll create a scaffold, give it a body, background color, I can give it a color. Do I need this? Give it a body. So this body would be a column, right? My column will have some children. So these would be two raised buttons, I guess. One would say raised button, one would be to read data, and the other would be to add some data. Okay, so I've added two buttons, right? So how do we read this data? Basically, again going back to the same documentation, we could read this data simply by doing a final response dot await client, and this response will have some data. Alright, so let's go back. Right here I can create a function called get data. So this get data function, what it will do is create a variable response equals to client dot await client dot from, we'll write the table name dot select dot execute. So client dot from, we have to write the table name. So we had created a table. This is a data table, right? Data table from data table dot select. So we can we have to give it like string columns equals to star, so I think that would select all dot execute. Now this execute command 2 takes in bool head equals to provide count option. So there are other options available as well. I'll just I'll introduce a check if this is not equal to null. So how we can do that is if response.error equals to null. Await. So we can wait for it and make this function async, right? So this response will get data from this data table we have created, and if there is no error, it should print this data to the screen. Alright, so we're getting some error. What is this error? I think one of the brackets is missing, right? Yeah, one of the brackets is missing because put in this error. Okay, so we are done with this. Go back to our home page, and in this read data, first I will create an instance of Supabase manager equal to Supabase dot get data, right? So this should get data and print it to the console. I can make this async as well. Wait for it to execute. Yeah, okay, and then print got data. Let's try to run it once. Signing to Supabase, signed up. Okay, so we have read data and add data, these two. So when I do read data, okay, response dot data, so we have nothing, and I successfully printed got data, right? So let's try to add something here. ID would be, so this value, ID value is already generated. Let's try to do Aditya. Save it here. So my table has my name right now. Let's again do a read data. Okay, so I got my ID and I got my name, right? Okay, so I am able to get the data printed on the terminal. Let's try to create a function that would add some data within this table. So how can I do that basically? So going back again to the documentation, we have this insert one, so we can simply go use our client and give it the table that we want to make changes and insert data. So this should take in some data, as like you can specify name and the data in front of it, right? So how we'll do this within Dart, I'll create a new function, call this add data, right? So what I can do is await client client, make this function again async, right? Client will be using the same client dot from data table dot insert. So I will give it some value. So how would this value look like? Name dot. So what I need to do is I'll take in a string that we need to add, string friend name, right? So I'll supply this string here. Okay, dot execute. Now we need to execute this command. Now I'll go back to my home page this on pressed, again await Supabase, make this function quickly async. Dot add data, and so I have supplied it as a parameter, right? So what this will do is when I'll run this function, it will call that function and add friend name. So print added data, right? That should be simple. Let's try to run our application again. So it will go back to sign in, quickly sign in, and when I click on add data, so my terminal is showing added data. Let's go over to our Supabase and see. Oh, alright, so it has added the friend name. Alright, so this was like a quick demonstration of simple functions like add data and read data. Now I have only started with Supabase, so I will be looking at documentation to test out other functions as well, like the sign out function and all the other functions to update, and would be creating a complete application to maintain, you know, a type of a friend list, or we could do any other application like a to-do list. And if you have only started working with it, you can comment down what you want to try out with this, what app do you want to build with Supabase, and I would love to read them. And I would also be working with some of the Supabase functions available right here, and we'll continue to make videos on it. So if this video helped you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I would see you in the next one. So thank you.